First cars are special, especially for enthusiasts like you and I. They're always there in our memories, like a pet that's passed away but you still talk about from time to time. Which is why first cars are also important. So naturally, here are the best first cars you can buy. I'm not gonna be like those annoying TikTok kids and be like, here's a P1, it costs $5,000, it's a great first car. I'm too mature for that, honestly. So I think this one is the perfect first car, the Mazda 3, one of my personal favorite hatchbacks and something I cannot recommend enough. Mazda is on something, bro. They're making great cars and just look at this thing's interior. Wow! Come on, if you're looking for a first car, this could be it. It's got a luxurious vibe going on and the power isn't too bad at all, with a 2.5 liter engine pushing 191 horsepower and another pushing 250. These aren't bad figures, and honestly, for a first car, that 250 horsepower is not needed. I had a CX-5 with 250 horsepower, and trust me, there is no need for it. And to add the cherry on top, you can get some with high miles for around $9,000, and better variants for around $15K. But what if you're broke, and $10K is still a big ask? I feel you, bro, and that's why I've got something for you. A Volvo 240.
Smash.
Sure, it's not new. In fact, 1988 makes it almost as old as Christopher Columbus. But 240s are reliable, really reliable, and also kind of cool at the same time. Very different to the regular shitbox on the road, that's for sure, as it's something unique. Plus, rear-wheel drive and a manual gearbox, so it's literally perfect for the enthusiast on a budget. Listen, don't expect crazy performance, but if it's your first car, why the f are you even considering performance? Like, are you trying to wrap it around a tree? But what if $5,000 to $6,000 is still out of budget? Well, as it's gonna be your first car and you're probably not older than 21, go for the Civic. It just makes sense. Reliable? Check. Sensible option? Check. Obnoxious? Check. These are all things that make the Civic what it is, a Civic. Listen, when you're working with 2 to 3 bands, you're not gonna find things better than this. And yes, there is a reason why they're so high mileage. That's because they actually work when you drive them, instead of throwing a morning temper tantrum like the old German grandpas.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up!
Now, what if you're a crypto scammer and just finished rug pulling some unsuspecting grandma who heard their grandson say crypto one time and decided to put everything she had in it? Well, then you've got a plethora of options to choose from. But remember, as it's still your first car and you're surely gonna rug pull other dum-dums in the future, there's no need to go too crazy here. This is why I think the 2017 Camaro would be perfect. A V6 Camaro, not the V8. I think that's just asking for trouble, as if you're not in trouble already. With it, you could say that the EcoBoost would also work well, but any Mustang in the hands of a new driver is a weapon of mass destruction, so I take back my statements. The Camaro looks cool, is not super difficult to drive, though granted, it is more challenging than the others on the list. But hey, it's an automatic, so if you're a wimp, it's perfect for you. Kidding, I don't judge people who prefer automatics. I can't lie, I prefer them too. It's also not super unreliable, which is a plus, especially if you've got a car that looks cooler than your regular traffic. But there's one more that for whatever reason, people don't really mention. It's a blend of Italian flamboyance and Japanese sophistication. The Fiat 124 Abarth. Yeah, this thing is not sophisticated. What it is though, is fun. The normal 124 was a Mazda Miata under the skin, sharing most of the parts with it. But Fiat decided to use their own 1.4 liter engine instead of the Miata's 2 liter. This made the car unbelievably fast. Yeah, the buyers threw a hissy fit, so Abarth came bursting through the door as if someone had snapped their spaghetti in half and made this. Mamma mia! Pretty much the 124, just a little tuned, with an engine pushing 164 horsepower. 0 to 60 in 6.3 seconds, which is much faster than average traffic. Not to mention, this thing will turn heads, like for real. It's a solid pick that many just don't talk about, because it's underpowered compared to the Miata. But dare I say it, it's just slightly cool. Let me drop a real quick entry what? The Jeep Wrangler, but try not to do this. Oh my god. Wranglers are cool, and yes, they've got that stereotype still, but hey, if it's your first car and you're worried about stereotypes and whatnot, then just don't bother driving at all. Alright ladies, let me take care of y'all real quick. If you're a woman and watching these, first of all, happy International Women's Day. And secondly, the normal girl stereotypes do not apply to you, because you're probably out here doing shit like this. For you ladies, it has to be something Japanese and a little more original than a Miata. So, there's just one car. Everything points to it. The Ultima. I'm sorry, I had to. And if you're not living in a place that gets a lot of sunshine with the average teen looking like this, then probably the hardtop variant. This car is really cool in my opinion, but with it, you could also make an argument for a 350Z or a 370Z, though these are quite powerful and maybe too powerful for a first car. They're super appealing though, and I've seen a few ladies who've bought these, and trust me, they're a fire pick. Also, I don't know why, but an A5 or an A4 would suit you guys as well. Now that I'm done catering to the 5% of women that watch my videos, time to go back to showing my guys some great first cars. This one is different gravy. It's not entirely reliable, which defeats the purpose of a first car in my opinion, as first cars should be easy on the person, but there's something else it has to offer. If you drive this and show some love to it, you're probably breaking a few necks at the minimum. The Porsche 944. The car is well built, but it's a Porsche from 1982, so if you think it's gonna be super reliable, yeah, not happening. But when something goes wrong, you're gonna have a pretty strong community to help you figure out what exactly the issue is. And that is what separates this one. Listen, to get a Porsche, especially a cool one as a first car, I mean, what more could a person want? Obviously, other than seeing the elongated muskrat put in one of his dumbass Teslas and sent to space. There are some builds that I've seen with it that look real nice. This one is so clean. I mean, it's a tasteful build, genuinely. But if you're a little crazier and want to do something crazy, this is definitely a cool look. And honestly, it's gonna be a real head turner. Here's another Safari build to drop on y'all as well. Okay, I'm not gonna show you any more of these before I make an impulsive decision. I would have listed the C6 Corvette, but I think $28,000 to $29,000 for a good example is a bit overpriced, as some of the cars are nearing 20 years old. And I think, considering that price, we use the Russian way of thinking. Take something German. If it breaks down, you're done for. If it drives, you're also done for, because it will break down eventually. But in that Goldilocks zone of it not breaking down, you're gonna get a lot of value for money. The CLS 63 or a C63 for half the price of a C6. Oh yeah. I just realized that I'm recommending a German performance car that's old to people as a first car. You know what? I'm gonna assume you're a second Max Verstappen, so go for it, bro. This is a good second or third car, let's be real. Like, make your way up to it and try not to become a statistic, mate. Now, I might catch some hate for this, but I don't really give a f**k, so I say what I want. Just like how I think the MT-07 is the perfect starter bike for a bike enthusiast, I think the Subaru BRZ or GT86 or GR86, whichever, is the perfect starter car for a car enthusiast whose pockets are relatively deep. But if they aren't, you can still get decent examples for under $15,000 and a little less decent ones for under $10,000. This car is considered one of the best driver cars, by the way, and for a good reason. I'd suggest checking out this video by Autotop NL and you'll see why it's so much fun. Some honorable mentions for those with both deep pockets and not so deep pockets would be the Acura RSX. Good build quality, decent performance, and it's a little different to the others on the road. Plus, if you want to mod it, you can do so very easily. The Miata is solid, but everyone talks about it in ad nauseum, so probably, yeah, okay, sure, it is. It's good. If possible, depending on where you live, you could get yourself a Suzuki Swift Sport. That thing is pretty good. Been around for a while too now. My family had one over a decade ago that was heavily tuned. From tuned, I mean like riced out. And I have no idea why. My family was on something back then. A Subaru WRX. Be a little vigilant with these because some of them can be unreliable, but overall, it's the perfect car if you enjoy inhaling flavored smoke that will probably have you looking like this once you hit 40. A Golf. What if you're a teenager living in the 1980s Soviet Union or 2025 Russia? What car would be perfect for you? Well, there's only one choice. The Lada. Helicopter. So, are you gonna subscribe? You can hit the subscribe button. You can still hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe.